he that good?
Effect is one of the best players I've seen in my career.
Great shots coming out of Effectus now. Does he need the other two?
Who'd you compare him to? Which controller player?
Effect is here, and everybody else is just like, that's who you should be comparing everybody.
No shot.
Effect gets one, Effect gets two!
No, this kid's not real!
The Effect is moving forward. The Terminator of Alliance should close this one out. It's a 1v1.
He might be the best controller player in the game.
I take cannon. Okay.
One HP. Taking it.
Nice.
Effect is clay pigeon shooting the rat that was inside.
I started watching him and I got terrified.
Pick up the one himself as Yuki does the damage, and I mean, he doesn't even need guns at this point. He's gonna knock himself in it, yeah, I mean.
We call him Baba Yaga.
He's looking to try and push it. Send in Effect, that's what he does.
Ryzen ult goes in as well, and Effect! The Effect!
The thing I have to say is I'm gonna want to photo.
He was the one you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman.
Oh my god!
Sometimes in esports, we get to witness the rise of a player so skilled, so talented it leaves the entire community in disbelief. And just a couple weeks ago at the ALGS Split 2 playoffs, we got to see one of the most highly anticipated LAN debuts since the game's release. With such high expectations, it makes it that much easier to fail to deliver. But then to exceed those expectations, well, surely that's impossible, right? Well, let me tell you the story of Effect and how an 18-year-old is changing Apex Legends. As we get into the video, I want to remind you to subscribe, help me hit 100k by next year, and follow my Twitter while you're at it. Effect's story begins in 2019. He started playing Apex a week after it released, when, wait, does that say that right? He was only 13. Being a young kid, he only had his PS4, but he was good, really good. And that didn't stop him from tearing through his competition.
One shot, bro, one shot. Holy moly, bro.
Better, bro. We're fucking better, man.
I think I knocked like 6 people there, bro.
In fact, over the next 2 years, Effect would become the #1 Apex Predator not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 separate times. He was streaming his clips directly from his PS4 to share his abilities, but he was looked down upon. A common sentiment in the Apex community is that the competition on console is not nearly as close to the level of PC. So despite being so far ahead of every console player, most people didn't take Effect seriously and assumed he wouldn't be able to do the same if he were on PC. So Effect got a PC.
I stuck here. I knocked two, last one. He's trapped. One below. If I knock. Я внутри играю. Я крякнул снаружи. Нокнул еще одного. Я просто вот так закидываю нейт.
The transition was simple for Effect. He was beaming, one-clipping, and no-scoping every top PC player the same way he was doing it on PS4. In fact, the performance jump to PC was possibly unlocking abilities that Effect was limited to before. The #1 thing for being on PC, however, was the connections Effect could start building. In early 2022, he got the opportunity to compete in the OTK Invitational alongside pro player Surdell. And then throughout 2022, he would start playing ranked with other pro players, especially one particular player that would lead to the biggest opportunity for Effect. Hackies, the IGL of Alliance, one of the longest standing teams in EMEA, noticed Effect was above and beyond everyone else when it came to aggressive playstyles and especially as a controller player. He also realized that Effect was flying under the radar and not being scouted by other teams. So when a spot opened up on Alliance's roster, he knew he needed to get him first.
The first person that we trialed was Effect. He is one of the best controller players in Europe. Definitely first goal was to get Effect in on the team.
And Effect didn't disappoint.
Movie's gonna be slowed down for just a second here. Invictus to the ground. Hackers is taken down to barely any HP. So now Alliance have to reset momentarily. But here comes Effect, and that is the Effect
On this roster, as everyone wanted a little bit of effect, but it looks like he's going to be the one who does the final bit of damage. There is going to be one.
In his Pro League debut, Effect was shocking everyone. It felt like this 17-year-old kid came out of nowhere and was better than everyone else, even though he was there the whole time. Clean wiping full 3-man squads with day 1 pro players as if he was still playing ranked. At this top level, however, there are many controller players with unbelievable mechanics. So what was really setting Effect apart from other controller fraggers? Well, I asked Dia, ALGS caster, for his opinion on what separates Effect from the rest, and he stated 3 things. Number 1, his processing speed. Even against the best of the best, Effect is seeing, understanding, and reacting to the game at a faster pace than most players. He has top level mechanics, but doesn't fall into the category of controller players with so-called controller brain, which rely too heavy on outgunning their opponents. If you listen to Alliance's comms, you'll see that Effect is often the one making calls and directing the flow of the fight. Hawkies doesn't have to micro him more than simply just sending him out to kill.
Looting, plastic. 60.
You queue me up if I...
He's one. Just push this guy. Yeah, push this guy. You hug this. This is the guy. I'm dropping. Dead. Far left. 2 guys, yeah. Hack is careful left side.
And this leads into number 2, his understanding of how players move and react to stimuli. His high game IQ, especially in regards to positioning during fights, Effect knows how to engage in a way that forces his enemies to do what he wants, putting them in more vulnerable positions that allows him to get kills that look easy. Here's Dia further explaining this point and his use of Horizon's abilities during the ALGS broadcast.
His ability to control the game using the abilities and mechanics in it. We saw him really exemplify this in the group stage, notably using things like Horizon and her ultimate to draw focus away from him so that he's able to deal damage without having lines of sight to him. One of the things that differentiates Effect from almost any other player on the stage right now is the split-second instincts that he can use with his abilities to change how the gunplay ends up functioning.
And number 3, the environment that Alliance has created for Effect to make confident plays. Hackus has stated multiple times that in the past, he was the sole aggressor on Alliance. Combining this with IGLing gave Hawkus too much responsibility in an aggressive meta.
It's a lot easier for me personally because I used to be in that role. Doing that role alongside IGLing released my shoulders a lot.
Having Effect has allowed Hawkus to sit back more and let Effect take the reins. Yuki has also developed into one of the best flex support players in Apex, fitting into whatever role Alliance needs, particularly as an anchor and creating opportunities for his fraggers. Again, in every fight, you can see that Effect is the one leading the charge and controlling the pace of how Alliance moves. His teammates swing for him proactively rather than reactively, giving Effect the utmost confidence to do what he does best, and that's put out damage and get kills. Take a look at this clip right here. Hawkies and Yuki swing on the left to take attention away from Effect and allow him to put out the damage and go for the kills.
I think we swing this team, no? Yeah, they're resing. I think we swing that, bro.
Push. Push the rest.
I'm ulting them.
Run on the left. In front of me.
48 here.
Keep swinging.
Yeah, okay. No. Bloodhound. Bengal almost cracked on Haiti. Bang dead. Bloodhound dead. Armor's up on me.
So there's no doubt that Effect is one of the most talented players. But only Hawkies, Yuki, and a few other players in the Apex scene can properly play around him. The context Alliance provides him makes him world class. Effect didn't get to make his LAN debut at the Split 1 playoffs in February due to visa issues, but he was determined to be at the next one. In Split 2, he looked deadlier than before. He led the entire Pro League in kills, averaging 16 kills per match, and had a whopping 17 kill lead on second place. The biggest difference between any 2 spots. Alliance was clearly the #1 team, and Effect was looking like the #1 player. And with the win of the regional final, it was setting up the most highly anticipated LAN debut for a single player. With such high expectations, it makes it that much easier to fail to deliver, but then to exceed those expectations. Well, surely that's impossible, right? Nope.
Hold him up. Q left. I'm in. Nice. Hold him, pick on my nade. Can we restart a second? I'm low. I'm a stop on the left. I'm fighting. Yeah, restart.
Oh, yeah, he chalked. That's Jen Burden. Holy got rolled.
Oh. I don't really know if they have.
Oh my goodness.
Horizon ult goes in as well, and Effect! The Effect! Take
Thank you.
Effect just got 3 kills for free. He has 7 kills right now, Effect.
Effect with another squad wipe down.
He has 7 kills, bro.
I don't feel fantastic, but I don't feel that much pressure, and I play like online. Like everything feels the same, and I feel very comfortable.
Spoken like a true professional.
This tournament at the moment, and like you say, Furia do lose one. Hackis might not pick up the one himself as Yuki does the damage, and I mean, he doesn't even need guns at this point.
I don't know what the paper says, but
Alliance just sent this over to our booth right now.
They're running.
Have to swing, they have to try and take this space. Effect gets one, Effect gets 2. He almost gets them all.
yes, they did. Yuki's already got their damage, and now they push in. It's going to be an easy cleanup for them.
In and realize kind of fall a little bit flat, and that might actually help Effect. He gets the boost, as if you need to make it any easier for him.
So Effect,
my man Effect,
the Terminator.
he just got actually super glide cap strafed by a grenade.
Up on the way.
Hey, get on your feet, launch for Alliance. They need all this hype.
Alliance may not have won, but for the first 3 days of LAN, they looked like the world's best team. And a large part of that was due to the effect of Effect. Despite a weaker finals performance from the team, Effect still finished #1 against the greatest players from around the world in kills. In Apex, there's an exclusive group of players that have been considered elites, and everyone debates which one of them is the best. While it's almost impossible in a BR to say one person is the best, Effect has found himself amongst the top of this tier in just over half a year of competing. Don't believe me? Take it straight from the words of Zero, Dark Zero's IGL, 3-time LAN champion. As per Alliance's coach, before Zero went to hoist the trophy for winning LAN, he looked at Effect and said, "Don't be upset, man. This is your first event. You are still the world's best player." Behind the scenes, they literally call him the Baba Yaga of Apex. Accomplishing this in an aggressive meta that teams have been playing in for over a year is seemingly unheard of, and is how Effect is raising the standards of Apex competitive play. One more big shout out to ALGS caster Zephyr, who connected me with Dia and PJ, Alliance's coach. I apologize if I mispronounced that. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, then you're gonna love the breakdown of the greatest game in Apex history, so click the button right there.